But I'll just read it out to you and I'll throw it into the description. Leon Trotsky and Frida Kahlo, the Russian revolutionary affair with the icon of global feminism. So, I mean, how is this going to show up on here? Oh, yeah, not too crazy, actually.
Yeah, people always tend to ship them, although I think they did have a small relationship when Trotsky was in Mexico. But eventually, Frida got realized he was trash. Also, Frida's painted Stalin. She has openly praised Stalin
Yeah.
and the USSR. So it's like people like weaponizing Frida. Like Frida liked Trotsky more. Like, okay, well, if you actually know the history, she realized how much bullshit Trotsky's theory was, and rightfully so. W. Frida.
Yeah. I never understood, like, how people can perpetuate Trotskyism. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I don't know. Maybe you can explain it to me better.
I think. Well, I think what like what comes to mind is um when people okay, I'll give you the forward kiss after. When
Let's do it.
people like to they love Trotskyism because a lot of Trotskyist organizations like IMT they'll mention how Mao isn't a communist. Like IMT recently dropped an apparel video on Twitter, and it's been it's been making its rounds on Twitter. Marx-Leninist Twitter was clowning them into the entire time they were getting ratioed, but they were talking about how Mao wasn't a communist, and they even talk about how Cuba and Fidel weren't communists. Basically anyone who isn't Trotsky and Lenin and Marx and Engels basically weren't communists in their books. So they're like, but yeah, they appeal to like liberalism in a way that they appeal to the propaganda. So they'll mention how Stalin's an authoritarian, fascist, and he was evil, and so that's how I think they garner support, because they'll get like the sock dem types who want to go a little bit more like radical, and they're still like questioning Marxism, Leninism because of Red Scare propaganda. So their safe option is to go down the Trotsky lane, which is almost like becoming a liberal almost, because a lot of the times they spew USS or anti-communist propaganda, and believe it or not, people always like to get it mixed up. Lenin didn't hate Stalin. Lenin hated Trotsky. Trotsky used to be a Menshevik. Literally, Trotsky plotted on Lenin's death, and they caught him. And it's crazy when people are like, "Oh, well, Lenin actually hated Stalin." It's quite the opposite, actually.
Yeah. I don't know. But I like what you said. Like how it's very liberal, because that's what liberals be doing. They be invading other countries. They be toppling other governments. And it's from my understanding about Trotsky is that he wanted in the 1920s and the early 30s for Stalin to essentially invade Europe after the failed communist revolts in the Weimar Republic. But Stalin knew, one, it is anti-Marxist to force Marxism on people, and two, they were just not in the condition to be able to do